Welcome back to my channel, Career Coaching on the Go. My name is Akila Myri, and I'm a certified career coach. The mission for my channel is to help others uncover a more fulfilling career path that is aligned with their skill sets, their values, and their passions. On my channel, I'll be giving you practical exercises that you can do at home. So every time you tune into my channel or watch my videos, always bring a pen and paper to take some notes so that you can do the assignments at home. If you have questions about the assignments, you can always send me a DM. My Instagram will always be in the description, or you can send me an email. My email will always be in the description. I just want to say I am very new to content creation and specifically YouTube. So I am asking for grace as I work out the kinks, whether it be audio, whether it be visual. I'll get better at it over time once I kind of find my sea legs. So I just ask for some grace. Okay. So today's topic is a foundational topic from my channel. It's called career identity. So career identity is essentially everything to do with finding a more fulfilling career path. Now, the ideology is this: if you create a synergy between what you're passionate about, what your skill sets are, and what your value system is, the ideology is that you will have a more fulfilling career path long term. Okay. So, what I want you to do today, well, one of the things that I want to kind of talk about before I go into the exercise is the idea that not enough people are intentional about choosing the right career path. For most people, actually choose a career path that is based on a few criteria. One, what our parents want us to do, right? So, most parents will expect us to choose a career path that is a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, because there is a certain prestige that comes with that, and of course, it is lucrative. Or we will choose a career path that is lucrative. That's what I did initially. When I was deciding what I wanted to study in university, I chose computer science because instinctively I was thinking at that time, IT wasn't going anywhere. I would always have a job and it would be an actually lucrative role. I wasn't wrong, but what I quickly recognized after completing my degree and having a job right out of university is that one, I wasn't technical, and two, I didn't like IT. And what I meant by that is, one of my first role was I was a programmer, and I used to go to that job every single week, and I would cry because there would be some bug in my code that I could not figure out, and it would take me days to figure it out, and I realized this is not where I'm supposed to be. Luckily for me, I had a career mentor at the time who was able to guide me into project management, because he saw skill sets in me, natural skill sets in me that would pair nicely with project management. And again, he was very right. I got certified as a project manager, and the rest is history. Now, originally chose a career path that was based on how lucrative it was going to be. And then I was directed into a career path based on my natural skill sets. None of these options were wrong, right? However, there was always something missing because there were two things that wasn't aligned with what I was doing. So, as a project manager, as an IT project manager, I was essentially helping companies to complete projects that would essentially add to their bottom line, right? But I wasn't really significantly helping anyone, right? I am naturally passionate about helping my community, helping other people, especially one-on-one. So once I became seasoned in my career, there was still something missing for me because I wasn't I wasn't walking in my purpose or even my passion. I was literally operating from a place of, I'm good at project management, it is lucrative. Let's just run with it, right? Which, as I said, worked for a number of years. But then after a while, I was like, I'm just making other companies rich. I'm not really helping anyone. So there was something there, there was more that I needed. So I say all of this to say is that a lot of people will choose their careers based on one, how lucrative it is, two, their natural skill sets. But very few people are intentional about finding something that will fulfill them. Inherently, or in our society, we aren't taught to go after our passions, right? Our passions are supposed to be our hobbies, right? Which I mean, there's nothing wrong with that if you are okay with being in a 9 to 5 job that is lucrative but doesn't necessarily fulfill you, but you are being fulfilled in your hobbies, that is okay. But ultimately, we understand that when you're not doing something that you are passionate about, it oftentimes feel like work. Simply put. And we've heard the saying, you know, if you do something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And trust me when I say it is very truthful. When you are aligned on your passions, when you are aligned on your skill sets and you're aligned with your value system, you will definitely have more fulfillment. It's not lost on us that we spend so much time at work. So we really should be taking the time to find a career path that is actually fulfilling. Okay? So let's get to the exercise. We're going to go through an exercise that's going to help us to uncover what would be a good synergy as it relates to our passions, our values, and our skill sets. So, this exercise is very simple. All you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper, you're going to have 3 columns, one for passions, one for values, one for skill sets. And what you're going to do is you're going to be honest about yourself, honest with yourself, sorry. And you're going to document what are you truly passionate about? What wakes you up in the morning, right? It could be helping others. It could be the environment. It could be working with animals. Whatever it is, just be honest about yourself. What I don't want you to do is to think, instinctively, okay, I love animals, but working with animals is not going to pay me. Let's not go with that thought process. Let's just be honest with what it is that we truly are passionate about, right? Once we get past that, we want to look at what it is, or what's our natural skill sets, right? What it is that we are naturally good at. It could be organizing, it could be drawing, it could be painting, it could be designing, whatever that is, document that as well, right? And then the last part is, what do we value? Right? And it could be that we value, harmony, we value or religion, we value, having time for families, we value mental health, whatever it is that you truly value. You want to also document that as well. And then once you're done with that exercising, you've documented, you've completed the 3 columns, you want to take a step back and reflect on, how could I use my skill sets to walk in or drive my passions and my values? Okay. So again, this is not an exercise that you're going to rush. It could be done over a week, 2 weeks. You want to be as thoughtful as possible. How can I use my skill sets to drive my passion and my purpose? My passion, sorry, and my value system. So let's just do an example, and I'll use myself as an example. I am passionate about helping others. That was always something that was just a part of me. I'm also passionate about traveling, but I am more passionate about helping others, right? Now, one of the things that I am naturally good at is I am naturally good at motivating other people, listening, being empathetic, and motivating other people. Sorry. Um, so, and then I also value harmony. I value being able to work independently, right? And I value my mental health. So when I paired those three things together, I thought, how can I use my skill set of being a great motivator, being empathetic, being able to listen to people? How can I use that to drive my passion, which is helping others, right? So in my previous video, I'd mentioned that I thought about becoming a therapist, but again, that was not aligned with my long-term and short-term goals, which we're going to get into after we complete this part. So I decided what was the next best thing that would fulfill my need for wanting to help others and my need and my skills and being aligned with my skill set as as it relates to motivating others and so on, and also being aligned with my value system, which is having harmony and most specifically working independently. I prefer to kind of make my own schedule and work independently and not necessarily be on a timer, which is essentially what happens in the corporate world. So when I paired all those three things together, it dawned on me that coaching could have been an option for me. Now, what did I do? I did not quit my day job. I started doing this on the side, or what we call a side gig, to get a feel for it. And once I got a feel for it, I then took steps to get certified. And then once that happened, then I took further steps to actually start practicing more frequently. Okay, so it's a process. I want to kind of highlight that. So you're not going to find your dream job tomorrow and you're going to jump right into it. You have to be more thoughtful around and intentional about how you move. Okay, so once you've done that, you've given it some thought and you've come up with some ideas as it relates to the synergy between your skill sets, your value system, and your passions. We want to look at two additional criteria. We want to look at what are our long-term and short-term goals. Okay? And also what environments do we like working in? So the reason why it's important for you to look at your long-term and short-term goals is because essentially, let's say, for example, one of the things that we are passionate, let's say after we've done the exercise, we landed on the fact that we wanted to do tourist tours. When you go to a city and you get on one of those tourist big bus and they drive you around the city. Let's say that's what you come up with, or let's say you come up with you want to be a dog walker, but that particular career is not aligned with your short-term and long-term goals. So let's say you have to pay off your student loans, or you have to, you're planning for a family, or you're trying to buy a house. You have to also take that into consideration as well when you are doing this career identity exercise, because you want to make sure that the choice that you make is aligned with your long-term and short-term goals. So just to use myself again as an example, um, my reason for not choosing to go the becoming a therapist is because I didn't want to go back to school, right? I didn't have the capacity at that time to have a full-time job coach and then have a full-time job and go back to school at that particular time. That was not aligned with my long-term and short-term goals. So I decided to go another route, right? So it's important for you to take that into consideration as well. Something else that you want to take into consideration is what environments you like to work in. Okay, so let's say, for example, you prefer to work in environments where you can be creative, you can work autonomously, you can work remotely. You want to take all of that into consideration as well, because after you figure out the career, you ensure that it's aligned with your long-term and short-term goals. You also want to think about, okay, what type of environment is this all going to fit in, right? What types of environments I want to work in. Because when you take all of that into consideration, you create a full picture of where you want to take your career. Okay. So again, I like to use myself as an example. I preferred to work 100% remotely. So everything that I do is from the comfort of my home. I'm an introvert. I prefer to conserve my energy. So being at home and being able to do everything from home was very important for me. So that actually, it impacted the career choices that I make. So you kind of want to think about all of these 5 factors. So let me repeat. You want to take into consideration your skill sets, what you're passionate about, your value system. You also want to take into consideration your long-term and short-term goals. And lastly, you want to take into consideration what environments you like to work in. Take document all of that, and then I am confident that you will start seeing or ideas will start coming to you as it relates to where you can actually take your career. Okay. So that is it. That is the exercise. I hope that if you watch this video, you try the exercise at home. It doesn't matter where you are in your career. You can always make a move if you feel that the career that you're currently in is not where you want to be. You can always make a change. So this exercise is good for persons starting their career, mid-career, or even close to the end, right? Because let's say you're close to the end of your career and you're thinking about retirement. Essentially, you might want to retire from your current role, but you might be thinking, hey, what else can I do post retirement to make money and to be more aligned with my passions and my skill set? So this exercise is good for anyone. So I would encourage you to try it at home. Feel free to comment. Let me know what are some of the things that you've come up with. If you need additional information, you can reach out to me, as I said, using my Instagram or my email. All right. So again, if this content was good for you, if you enjoyed it, I will be releasing content weekly. Please subscribe, like, share, and yeah, come back for more information. All right. Take care.